Leadership is often misunderstood as a position granted by authority, but its real power begins long before any title is earned. True leadership is a responsibility, a commitment to something bigger than oneself, and a willingness to guide others toward a higher purpose. It is not defined by how loud someone speaks, but by how deeply their words and actions resonate with others. When a person chooses to lead, they make a conscious decision to serve, to uplift, and to bring clarity where there is confusion. This choice sets great leaders apart from those who rely on authority alone. People do not follow because they are instructed to. They follow because they feel inspired, safe, and understood. They follow because they sense authenticity and purpose in the one who leads them. The heart of leadership lies in the ability to ignite belief in others. It begins with the recognition that the greatest achievements are never accomplished alone. A leader's role is not to shine alone, but to create the conditions where others can shine as well. This is where true greatness is born. A leader who inspires does not push people forward. Instead, they draw people forward by demonstrating what is possible. They move others not through pressure, but through passion. They don't demand commitment. They earn it by living in alignment with the values they speak about. A great leader understands that people crave meaning. They want to be part of something that matters, something that gives their effort purpose. Leadership becomes powerful when someone is able to articulate a reason for others to believe. When that clarity exists, people feel motivated not because they must act, but because they want to be part of the vision. They feel a sense of ownership and pride, knowing their contribution is valued and essential. This is the power of inspiration. It transforms ordinary effort into extraordinary dedication. Leadership grounded in purpose does not waver when challenges appear. Instead of seeking recognition, great leaders focus on the mission. Instead of using fear to control, they use trust to guide. Instead of creating competition within the group, they build unity. They model patience, humility, strength, and resilience, not as performances, but as natural extensions of who they are. And through this consistency, people feel a sense of stability even in uncertain times. They learn to trust not just the leader, but also themselves. It is this trust that allows people to do great things. When someone feels supported, understood, and valued, they unlock potential they did not know they had. Leadership is not about the achievements of one person. It is about the achievements of many, made possible by the belief one person was willing to spark. Great leaders do not stand at the top. They stand among their people, guiding them, believing in them, and inspiring them to rise to heights they once thought unreachable. Leadership begins with an inner shift, a quiet but powerful decision to live with intention and integrity. Before inspiring others, a leader must first understand what they stand for, what they believe in, and what purpose guides their actions. This clarity becomes the foundation of their influence. When someone knows their values deeply, their choices become consistent, their words carry weight, and their presence creates confidence. People are naturally drawn to individuals whose actions match their principles. They sense steadiness, reliability, and authenticity. This is where true inspiration begins, not with speeches or instructions, but with the way a leader chooses to live each day. Ordinary leadership focuses on demanding outcomes, measuring performance, and enforcing compliance. But inspiration does not grow in environments where pressure replaces trust. Great leadership understands that people are not machines. They respond not just to direction, but to connection, not just to goals, but to meaning. When a leader shows genuine belief in a shared purpose, others begin to adopt that purpose as their own. Their work gains significance because it becomes tied to something larger than tasks or deadlines. This shift transforms effort into commitment and commitment into passion. Integrity plays a central role in this transformation. People follow those who are honest, transparent, and willing to admit their imperfections. A leader who tries to appear flawless creates distance. A leader who embraces vulnerability builds connection. Humans naturally trust those who feel real, relatable, and sincere. This trust forms the emotional foundation that inspires action. It tells people that they are not being controlled. They are being guided by someone who truly cares about their growth and well-being. Empathy also becomes a powerful catalyst for inspiration. When a leader listens without judgment, understands without assumption, and supports without hesitation, people feel valued, they feel seen, they feel respected, and when people feel respected, they blossom. They take risks, explore their creativity, and push their limits, not out of obligation, but out of confidence. A leader who recognizes the potential within others, even before they recognize it themselves, awakens strengths that may have remained dormant for years. Inspiration is further fueled by courage. The courage to make decisions that align with one's values even when they are unpopular. The courage to stand firm in uncertainty. And the courage to lead with compassion in moments when it would be easier to lead with authority. This kind of courage reassures people. It shows them that they are not alone in their challenges. It reminds them that leadership is not about being fearless. It is about moving forward with purpose despite fear. Ultimately, leadership becomes a daily choice. It is the decision to be the example others can look to when they feel uncertain. It is the decision to act with integrity even when no one is watching. It is the decision to lift others rather than judge them. When this inner shift occurs, inspiration flows naturally. People begin to follow not because they were told to, but because they feel compelled to be part of something meaningful. And in that shared sense of purpose, great things begin to unfold. People rise to their highest potential when they feel supported, trusted, and encouraged. And this is where the true power of lifting others up becomes visible. Great leadership is not about commanding excellence. It is about creating an environment where excellence can naturally emerge. When people feel safe, safe to speak, safe to try, safe to fail, and safe to grow, they begin to operate from possibility rather than fear. They stop focusing on avoiding mistakes and start focusing on discovering solutions. This shift alone can turn average performance into extraordinary achievement. A leader's belief becomes the invisible force that guides individuals toward their best selves. One of the most transformative things a leader can offer is confidence, not the kind that is spoken as empty praise, but the kind that is demonstrated through trust. When a leader trusts someone with responsibility, believes in their judgment, or values their ideas, it sends a powerful message. You are capable. Those words, whether spoken or shown, often plant seeds that flourish into courage. People begin to take initiative not because they are told to, but because they want to live up to the belief invested in them. A single moment of encouragement can change the direction of someone's entire career or life. Inspiration thrives in environments where mistakes are not weapons but stepping stones. Leaders who lift others up do not shame people for errors, they help them learn from them. They understand that every person carries potential that reveals itself through curiosity, experimentation, and refinement. When someone is allowed to explore without fear of criticism, their imagination expands. They generate new ideas, discover solutions, and develop skills that would remain hidden if they only worked under pressure or doubt. Empowerment is not about perfection, it is about growth. Another key element of lifting others up is listening. People feel empowered when their voices matter. A leader who listens with intention, who values different perspectives, and who encourages open dialogue gives people a sense of ownership. They begin to see themselves as contributors, not just participants. This sense of contribution fuels motivation on a deeper level. When people feel that their opinions shape outcomes, they invest more of themselves into the mission. Small actions often create the biggest transformations. A word of appreciation, a moment of patience, a genuine question about someone's ideas. These subtle gestures build trust and connection. Over time, this trust becomes a foundation that people stand on with pride. They start believing that they are not walking alone, someone is walking with them. Lifting others up does not diminish the leader's strength. In fact, it multiplies it. The success of a leader is reflected not in what they achieve individually, but in what they enable others to achieve collectively. When people feel uplifted, they naturally become more innovative, more resilient, and more committed. They strive not just for personal success, but for shared success. This is the essence of inspirational leadership, the deliberate act of awakening greatness in others, one encouraging moment at a time. Inspiration has a ripple effect that extends far beyond the immediate reach of a leader. When one person chooses to lift others up, to trust, to encourage, and to believe, that energy spreads in ways that cannot be measured. People who feel inspired begin to act differently, approaching challenges with optimism and creativity. Their confidence grows, and with that confidence comes the ability to influence others in turn. What starts as a single act of leadership can multiply exponentially, touching lives that the leader may never see or even know about. This ripple effect is the true measure of impact, showing that leadership is never contained within the boundaries of a title or office, but rather in the lives it transforms. The moment someone feels empowered, they gain permission to think bigger and act bolder. They take initiative without waiting for instructions. They collaborate willingly, share knowledge freely, and step up in ways they might never have imagined possible. This momentum builds not only individual growth, but also collective achievement. Teams that are inspired operate with trust, with a shared sense of purpose, and with resilience that allows them to overcome obstacles that might have seemed insurmountable before. Each person's success contributes to the strength of the whole, creating a chain reaction where inspiration fuels further inspiration. Leadership through inspiration also builds a culture that sustains itself. When people see others being trusted and supported, they adopt the same behavior. Encouragement and empowerment become the norm rather than the exception. This creates an environment where innovation thrives because people are not afraid to experiment or make mistakes. It fosters loyalty because individuals feel valued not just for the results they produce, but for who they are as people. Trust becomes the currency of the group, and every action that supports, uplifts, and guides strengthens it. The original leader's influence expands organically, reaching further than any directive or mandate ever could. The power of this ripple effect lies in its ability to create exponential impact. One inspired individual can motivate dozens, who in turn can motivate hundreds. Entire communities, organizations, and movements can emerge from the simple decision to believe in and empower others. Leadership, in this sense, is not about control or authority. It is about creating conditions where greatness is inevitable. By investing in others, leaders plant seeds that grow into forests of achievement, collaboration, and transformation. Each person touched by this belief becomes capable of touching others, creating a cycle that continues far beyond the leader's immediate presence. Ultimately, the ripple effect shows that great achievements are never the work of a single person. Every innovation, every breakthrough, every moment of extraordinary success is the result of inspired individuals working together toward a shared vision. Leaders who understand this do not seek recognition for themselves, but find fulfillment in the growth and accomplishments of those they serve. The legacy of such leadership is enduring, for it multiplies itself through the lives of others. Inspiration, once ignited, cannot be contained. It spreads, empowering people to act, to create, and to achieve in ways that redefine what is possible. Every moment offers a choice, and the decision to lead with purpose is the most powerful one a person can make. Leadership is not reserved for those with titles, positions, or authority. It is reserved for those willing to take responsibility for the influence they have, for those who choose to inspire, uplift, and guide others through their words, actions, and example. The essence of great leadership lies in this conscious choice to serve a purpose greater than oneself, to put others first, and to act in a way that ignites possibility. It begins with a single commitment to be a force that empowers rather than diminishes, that builds rather than breaks, and that believes in potential even when it is not yet visible. Choosing to inspire requires courage, patience, and consistency. It is easy to lead by fear, to demand compliance, or to chase personal recognition. True leadership asks for something far more challenging. It asks for authenticity, empathy, and the willingness to take the time to understand and nurture the people around you. When this choice is made, every interaction becomes an opportunity to lift someone higher, to show trust, and to demonstrate that their efforts, ideas, and contributions matter. These small, consistent acts accumulate over time, creating a culture where people feel valued and motivated to do more than they ever thought possible. The impact of such leadership is profound because it transforms ordinary actions into extraordinary outcomes. When a leader inspires, they spark belief in others that they are capable of greatness. They encourage people to step into challenges with confidence, to take risks, and to innovate without fear of failure. This belief is contagious. As individuals grow, their energy spreads, touching others around them and creating a network of empowered, motivated, and confident people. What begins as one choice to lead with purpose quickly becomes a chain reaction that extends far beyond what one person could achieve alone. It is in this spreading of inspiration that leadership finds its deepest and most enduring reward. Every decision made by a leader sends a message. Choosing to be compassionate, patient, and encouraging teaches others to act in the same way. Choosing to celebrate progress, not just outcomes, instills confidence and resilience. Choosing to believe in potential before it is realized creates opportunities that would otherwise remain hidden. Leadership is the sum of these choices made consistently over time. It is not measured by accolades or titles, but by the growth, empowerment, and achievements of the people who are touched by that leadership. The true mark of greatness is the lasting effect one has on others, the legacy of belief and capability that continues long after a moment has passed. To lead with purpose is to embrace the understanding that everyone has the potential to achieve great things when they are supported, trusted, and inspired. Each person becomes a catalyst for the next, forming a continuous cycle of growth, empowerment, and achievement. When a leader decides to act with intention, to inspire rather than command, they create a world where possibilities expand and limitations shrink. This is the call to action, to step into leadership not for personal gain, but for the chance to ignite greatness in others. By choosing to inspire, to uplift, and to serve, a leader changes not just individual lives, but the trajectory of entire communities, creating a legacy that endures, multiplies, and transforms the future.